Alignment, UPM, or famously known as CADe. So my name is Dr. Sarah Baharudin from Faculty of Agriculture, UPM, and I will be your moderator for today's session. Inshallah, it will be a very interesting one and a very interactive session for sure with our esteemed speaker today. So before I start, so there's how many of us? Wow, there's a good crowd here. There's about, oh, it's growing. It's about 80 plus uh, crowd today, participants. Okay, so before we start, I would like to ask all of the participants today to open a Padlet tab on your internet browser. This is the URL, yeah. So it's going to be interactive. So our speaker won't speak alone because you'll be with him. So you can open www.padlet.com. Okay, can we put in the chat as well? We'll put in the chat the link as well. So https://www.padlet.com. Okay, have that open. It will come in handy. And get yourselves registered. Okay, all right. So while all of you
And
open,
then some other features that I can show is integration with the Google apps. So if you
okay, thank you. Right, yeah, that's normal for online classes. Okay, so while you guys are all registering, I'll be doing some introduction on our topic today and also our esteemed speaker. So online learning during the pandemic necessitates teachers and lecturers to be ready to upskill ourselves to make online classes more effective, more engaging and relevant. We don't want to be boring. That's the least that we want. There is a need to review or improve online assessment practices in keeping abreast with this challenging time. So how can the correct understanding of constructive alignment help guide teachers to plan for effective instruction? What is the relationship between using a test blueprint and what are the steps in building a test? How can we be sure and we be confident that these online tests are genuinely the most reliable, eliciting valid scores to assist us in improving course instruction? So these are the issues, the things that we need to revisit. Yeah. So today our webinar title would be revisiting constructive alignment. Number one, reliability and validity. Number two, and table of specifications for online learning assessments. So that is what we're going to be talking about today with our speaker. And then before that, please allow me to introduce our esteemed speaker. So Associate Professor Dr. Johari Osman, our speaker today, was born in Singapore, January 1960. His earliest schooling years was spent at St. Joseph Primary School in JB, then Government English Primary School in PD, followed by the Science Secondary School in Kuala Pilah, and STJ Old Boy. He subsequently furthered his study in the United States, having both a BA in mathematics and a Master of Science in Mathematics Education from the Southern Illinois University, Carbondale, Illinois. After returning to Malaysia in 1983, he did his diploma in education in University Malaya for 1 year. He then started to serve as a mathematics teacher at the Sekolah Menengah Sains Muar, Johor, for 7 good years. He then was pinched into UIA in 1989. In 1991, he was again sent to the States to do his PhD in educational psychology, specializing in evaluation, testing, and measurement at the University of Denver, Colorado. He successfully obtained his PhD and returned to Malaysia to serve UIA in 1997. Dr. Johari has 28 years under his belt of experience at all education level as teacher, researcher, manager, and consultant. His professional training and research has been in the areas of educational psychology, assessment, testing and measurement, and statistical data analysis. His current interest is in skill theory that includes rash model measurement. This must be not foreign for mathematicians. He is an associate professor at Kuliah of Education, International Islamic University of Malaysia, IIUM, or famously known as UIA in Kuala Lumpur. He's also involved in consultancy in testing and measurement and has worked with various governmental agencies such as Malaysian Higher Education Ministry, Malaysian Examination Syndicate, Malaysian Examination Board, MARA, KAGAT, Permata, Training Arms of Petronas, and Ministry of Higher Education through ACAP, to name a few. His other research endeavors and professional competence is in internet instructional technology with electronic portfolio or e-portfolio being one of his latest interests. He also teaches IIUM's off-campus programs at both undergrad and postgrad students in the areas of testing and assessment. So he is the right man for this job today, and educational psychology. He was the head of Department of Educational Psychology and Counseling at Kuliah of Education until 2016, and recently he retired in 2020 and currently continue working in IIUM or UIA as a contract staff. So without further ado, Dr. Johari, the floor is yours. Doctor, your mic is turned off. Dr. Joe, sorry, your mic is still off. Okay, now it's good. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Sarah. Again, I'm repeating the same thing that I mentioned a few minutes ago. Okay, anyway, thank you very much, Dr. Sarah. And also, I would like to give a very much thank you also to CADe-UPM for inviting me. This is a very beautiful morning today, and I'm glad that there are many participants or viewers right now. And I'm given 2 hours, and I'm not so sure if I can finish all my 40 slides, but I will try my best. And the way that I want to go about doing this would be, I have 3 topics. I will cover each topic within maybe 6, 7, 8 slides, depending. And then after each of those topics, I will open the floor for questions. And since the number is large, I have to control the number of questions that I am able to respond or answer. So I hope you don't mind because of the numbers. Then after the question and answer, I will proceed with live activity. Okay, live activity would be, I think, based on experience, will be the most interesting part of this presentation. And then I will repeat the same procedure or process for the next topic and the next topic. So let me straight away share my slides. Okay, the topic that was given to me was constructive alignment, reliability and validity, and table of specifications. These are three. There are many important topics in assessment, but these 3 is considered or are considered most relevant. And I will try to merge, the issues under each of them the best that I can. And the word revisiting, because since I'm not familiar, or I'm not sure who are my participant or who are the audience, because some of you might already know these terms, some of you are newbies, maybe some of you are not really into assessment. So the task is quite challenging for me to be able to present to a diverse audience that have a range of background in assessment. Okay, now we currently in a period that has not affected us for a long time. We are in a period of pandemic worldwide. Therefore, this pandemic, whether we like it or not, has affected the education system. And therefore, it has affected teachers and lecturers alike, whereby whether we like it or not, reluctantly, all of us are pushed to be competent in teaching online. So we've seen the past few months and even last year, the controversies abound when we talk about teaching online. Some of the major issues are teachers or even lecturers are not prepared or even not competent enough to be able to utilize all the available tools or even teaching strategies that is so different from face-to-face physical life in front of the classroom, where you have behind you the whiteboard. So there's no more that. And that's what we call, or we can say, the new normal that has befallen us, whether we like it or not, the word. So in other words, as we move to the second year of this pandemic, which is affecting all of us, not just as teachers, even the students are affected tremendously, the parents too. So there must be a way to have an overall look or a common mindset on how we should go about teaching online the best, the most effective, and that is acceptable by all the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? The universities, the schools, the administrators, the teachers, the students, the parents. So there's a lot of issues here. Okay? I mean, we can talk hours and hours just on that. But the point that I want to take is, or I want to make is, to have a common understanding where I am coming from with my topic. See, I do teach testing and assessment in my classes, both undergraduate and postgraduate. It doesn't matter what skills you have, doesn't matter what tools you have. See, here I want to be frank. We are so hooked up, we are so gung-ho about tools that sometimes we've forgotten the bottom line is to make students understand and show evidence of learning. Sometimes I discuss with my students, if you are a very, very good lecturer or even a teacher, with just a traditional lecture, it could work. Yes, it could work as long as you can do assessment or test or evaluation that can definitely and accurately show the students have learned. Okay, that's one side of the story. That's one of the spectrum. The other spectrum would be to utilize all the available tools. And for your information, right now, I'm using one tool. With this slide, is a different tool. I'm sure some of you, I'm not saying all of you, but maybe some of you have not even seen it. So the point what I'm trying to say is, despite whether you use the traditional method, you are a person who maybe not so into tech, not so into gadgets, not so into all this, online thingy. Doesn't matter. It's okay. It's okay with that. Or you are really into tech. You are really hyper on bringing in as many tech tools in the class, to the extent that even your students are all like, oh my God, another tool, every week one new tool. Then they get confused. So along the way, the real bottom line task could be sideline. What is sideline? What is the thing that we might sideline? Does or do students really learn? Doesn't matter whether you use a traditional method, doesn't matter if you use the most sophisticated advanced tool. That is why if you look at literature on online learning, together with literature on assessment via online learning, many proponents have already talked about hybrid. The hybrid method, together with both synchronized. Now we are doing a synchronized session and also a synchronized, which is recorded video. So there's a lot of controversy here, right? Even in UAE, some lecturers, they can they can teach 5, 6, 7 hours synchronized. I'm like, huh? Aghast. Why? can really students pay attention 6-7 hours one day, or maybe, if one or two lecturers doing the same thing? So they will be overwhelmed. And that's why I mentioned to our dear moderator, Dr. Sarah, there is this term now in psychology around the world, which is called Zoom fatigue or Google Meet fatigue. So let me go straight to my slides. Okay. I think the learning outcome has been shown before. I'm just reiterating the learning outcome. At the end of this presentation, I hope that most of you, if not all, will have a clearer picture, a better impression, or a view of these three critical concepts in assessment. Also, at the end of this presentation, I hope, I would like the participant will be able to design an online classroom. I would add an online classroom experience or lesson that accurately exhibits components of constructive alignment. The third learning outcome, also at the end of the presentation, I hope the majority of you will correctly differentiate between reliability and validity. And talking about reliability and validity, this is something that people in assessment or even people in statistics or even in science in general would really know and appreciate. But for those who are not, then there's something new. Okay. At the end of the presentation also, at the end, the last topic, the last third topic would be trying to share with you. There are many ways to construct table of test facts, but I'm going to share with you some methods or steps that we in URA adhere to. So inshallah, hopefully, these three will be covered within the remaining time. Okay, let us look at this quote. I think I like this quote by Tyler, even though Tyler way back in 1949, but I am sure this quote is most relevant now. I will read it. Learning takes place through the active behavior of the students. It is what he meaning the students does that he learns, not what the teacher does. I can be moving around here. I can moving in front of you, my dear participants. I can speak as long as I want. But if at the end of the day, the student cannot show that they have learned, if the student cannot demonstrate certain learning outcome, then the teaching or the lesson is to no avail. Please ponder upon that. I wouldn't want to go into detail, but sometimes, sorry to say it, using a Malay phrase, we teachers should not shock sendiri. We might be talking about some topic or some theory and so excited about it, but if the students do not really get it, if the student do not really know why they have to learn that, if the student fail to understand the content that you are trying so hard to convey, and in the end, at the exam or evaluation or test or quiz, they fail to show good results or good scores, then the finger might point back to us, not to the student. So these are the issues. These are the issues that I would like to highlight, because sometimes with all the latest things that's happening now, the requirements, you have to teach certain hours, you must be able to incorporate all those things. Please go back one step and ponder. The bottom line is, I want my students to learn the topics as it is mentioned or stated in the learning outcome, vis-a-vis the course outline. In universities, we use course outline. In schools, we use syllabuses. So, what is constructive alignment? This one word. For those of you who are not in assessment, this term could be a little bit new, but I'm sure most lecturers throughout Malaysia would understand. So now I'm revisiting, okay? Revisiting, meaning I'm not saying you never know this, but maybe if you know a little bit, I'm trying to make it that you know better or you understand much more deeper. Okay, I'm not going to read my slides. The point is, it is syllabus, which is the outcome, together with instruction, which is learning activities in the class. There was a time it's in the physical classroom, now in front of a camera. So what learning activities that you are giving and sharing with the students. So in a way, my lecture or my presentation is one proof or one sharing moment to show to you that even if I'm under the spotlight with all the cameras here, I can still do learning activities that is engaging. See, the key word is if students are bored, if the students do not open their camera, we do not know what they are doing across in front of their laptop. We do not know what they are doing. Maybe they are just playing games and yet listening to your lecture. So how do you know that they are doing it? So there must be interaction, at least, even if it's not long, maybe 5 minutes or 3 minutes. So constructive alignment is a term that is coined by those people in assessment or proponents of assessment or experts in assessment that coined this word where it is a triangle. First, I repeat, syllabus, that is the learning outcome. Instruction, that is the learning activity. Assessment, that is the test or the task that will obtain, that will garner, or that will get evidences of learning. Actually, this syllabus, I should put curriculum, okay? The proper word is curriculum, but it doesn't matter. Curriculum can be interchanged with syllabus. Continue. So why constructive alignment? I'm just reading at the end here. It ensures that the learner, our students, cannot escape without learning. So if you are already sure of our 3 components of curriculum, instruction, and assessment, then they are committed to experience what the curriculum has given them, top down, what the teachers teaches or what the teachers does in terms of teaching them using whatever pedagogical experiences, and at the end of the class, they will go through any type of assessment strategies or methods that include question and answer, quizzes, tests, midterm tests, projects, group work, and so on. I think that's quite clear. So how do we look at these 3 components? That's how we look at it. It is curriculum, then it is instruction, then it is assessment. But mind you, it's not only that way. It doesn't have to start with curriculum, instruction, and assessment. It could also be curriculum. You look at the curriculum, then you plan the assessment, then you create learning activities. So it is very fluid. Example, from the assessment, you can look that something is wrong with the students. Then we can recheck what happened in the instruction. And from there, if something is not right with the instruction and the assessment, maybe we need to relook at the curriculum. So this is, this is the description. I'm sure you can have a look there. And the next slide would be, if I use the keyword, these are the 3 components of education. Okay, another thing that I always talk to my students, if they do not notice this, is in any countries around the world, including Malaysia, we have these 3 units. Ponder, we have these 3 units. What are the 3 units in the ministry? We have the CDC, US, we have the CDC, curriculum development. So we also have a curriculum development unit in the Ministry of Education. We have the teaching colleges. We have the, in terms of a unit on teaching teachers. And then finally, we have MPM and we have LPM. So all these are representation in real life that these 3 components are there. It's just that sometimes we do not notice it. Why? Because we teachers only focus on instruction. Mind you again, we have a lot of experts in curriculum in Malaysia. We have a lot of experts in instruction. Among the three, we do not have many experts in assessment. That is why sometimes this thing happen, right? They do all these exams, they make these rules and laws in terms of what should be done, but sometimes, you know, it is not really what is espoused or what is recommended by experts in assessment. So these are the issues. Even in schools, who are the experts in assessment? Usually we have unit peperiksaan, that's all. You know, a math teacher, a science teacher, given the task, unit peperiksaan ataupun secretary of assessment. But do they have background training in assessment proper? So that's the issue. Okay. Next one would be constructive alignment, where hold on, something is happening. Okay. From the curriculum, we have learning outcome. In other words, I'm making it much more detailed. From the big term curriculum is actually learning outcome, and this learning outcome comes from our course outline. In universities, in URA, we use course outline. So course outline is similar to syllabus and curriculum. Then we have instruction. When we go down further in the classroom, the instruction translates to learning activities. And inshallah, hopefully in my presentation here, I will include these learning activities. And I hope you will gain much more rather than just listening to me and talking about the slides, okay? And finally, the assessment task. Again, the activities will reflect what I would like for you to learn after I've gone through these slides. And then here there's a note. There should be a logical alignment between all three elements. It does not matter where the design point starts. Okay, in a nutshell, constructive alignment means this. For teachers, I always give this example. I think my example is extreme, but even though it's extreme, but it relay the point. Let's say I'm a master of durian. I learned durian from my bachelor until PhD. So example, I know this is a funny example, but to make it so that you can see what constructive alignment is. If I have a PhD in durian, I cannot go in a class and start talking about rambutan. You see my point? So when, let's say something is wrong with my head, even though I have a PhD in durian, I cannot go and teach rambutan. And somehow or rather, at the end of the year or the semester, the exam question that was created or built by the district or even by the other colleagues in the kuliah or in the faculty, they all ask about apples. So you just imagine, once you have a curriculum of durian, which is not aligned with teaching of rambutans, and then asking questions about apple, you have a total disarray, no longer constructive alignment. So what should be constructive alignment? If I have a PhD in durian, I know everything about durian from A to Z, you know, the history, the types, what you can do with durian, then for sure when I go into the class, I should be teaching all about durian from A to Z, nothing else but durian. Then at the end of the semester, for sure, I have to ask only about durian and everything subtopics of durian. Types of durian, what food or dishes you can do with durian, the future of durian in the year 3000. So these are the things that make once any lecturers or teachers understand this basic construct, then it's better for them to plan the right, appropriate, relevant lessons and incorporate this understanding. That is why sometimes, you see, I give you a very specific example. Let's say I teach math. I teach math, I only teach 2 digits. Addition of 2 digits, subtraction of 2 digits. Suddenly, in the exam, it's it's 3 digits. But you think, hey, I'm teaching addition what? Addition sama lah. 23 plus 21, 17 plus 34. But in the exam, you might not notice or you inadvertently put in 123 minus 211. See, even though it's valid, but there's no alignment. You are teaching actually last month on 2 digits. Then why in the final exam or even in the midterm, you put in questions that has 3 digits, even though it's correct? Addition and subtraction, but there is misalignment. Please ponder seriously. Once that happens, you might defend yourself. I'm teaching math, what? I'm teaching addition sama apa? But then people who are in assessment will notice, then they will say there is some misalignment. What was taught was not us. What was taught was not us. I will repeat this. Bagi mereka yang cikgu cuba reflect, cuba kita jujur. Tak semestinya ikut saya, jujur. Reflect balik. Betul ke apa yang aku ajar adalah apa yang aku tanya? Kalau ada slight misalignment, mangsanya the victims are the student. Then the student will complain, cikgu, we cannot answer the question because you never taught us that part. Walah, you never taught us that part. Student ada cakap, banyak kali saya dengar. So, dalam kan, deep. I can talk more, but takut nanti tak cukup masa. Okay, continue. So these are the steps to constructive alignment. First, you identify your learning outcome. After you have identified your learning outcome, Dr. Sarah, sorry. Talking about learning outcome, learning outcome also 5 jam boleh ajar. But what to do kan? So learning outcome ni, there is, for those of you who understand learning outcome, there is this action verb. Some, I will not say most lah. I have to be careful with my words. I'm not saying most. Some lecturers, especially new ones, they do not know to use action verb. Then they say, in their course outline, I scrutinize and check all course outline, or most course outline in UIA. At the end of the course, the student will understand. Okay? If a learning outcome uses the word understand, but for us in assessment, that's a red flag. But you don't use action verb understand. Then you can argue with me. Why not, doctor? Why not, doctor? This has been in our faculty for years. Yalah, it has been in years. The learning outcome was used all those years. But you didn't give third-party assessment expert to check. Understand is not an action verb. Why? I give you the argument. How do you measure understand? You can't. The funny thing, I will tell some of my participants, you can if you use this. At the end of the course, understanding can be measured by the number of nods. So, usually you see in the classroom, teacher will say, everyone understand? Check. Anak murid faham tak? Faham. Does that show evidence of learning? Come on. That's the minimum. And that's not even good. So if you use improper action verb, then you have problem. If you still stick with understand, that's again a problem. How do you measure understand? Cakap terus lah, how do you measure understand? I mean, you don't have to answer me, but I will answer myself. I can't measure understand. Johari, awak faham tak? Faham. See, when you see the movement of nodding heads, then the nodding heads must be put in the course outline. I will measure understand by the number of frequency of nodding heads. If the student nod 3 times, he knows better more than someone who nods 1 time. That's the proper way. So please, brothers and sisters, ponder what I say. This is 30 years of teaching and learning and training people, right? Even at the ACAP level. I do train other lecturers from other universities, okay, on assessment, not on other things, okay. Okay, so let us go forward, okay, because I am afraid I'm wasting too much time here. Okay, now Dr. Sarah, please send your questions to the moderator. Moderator will pick and select appropriate relevant questions and share them in Padlet. Due to time constraint, the first, depends lah, the first 3 questions will be answered. I'm past 60 minutes already. That's why I'm worried, Dr. Sarah, but it's okay. So let us go.
No problem, Dr. Joe.
Okay, it's
Carry
okay.
on. I'll put the questions kat Padlet, yeah?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. See, this is the question. Can you see, Dr. Sarah? Is it shared now, my Padlet? Hello?
Hello. Yeah, I'm getting the first one.
Okay.
Okay.
I will jawab terus lah because I do not want to waste time.
Okay. Can I read it to you, Dr. Joe?
Sure.
Okay. Adakah pensyarah perlu memastikan 100% pelajar mencapai LO kursus dengan baik? Bagaimana dengan pelajar yang lemah? Walau diulang topik beberapa kali, tetapi apabila diberi soalan yang berbeza, pelajar tidak dapat menjawab dengan baik.
Okay, that is relevant. I wouldn't I wouldn't guarantee that all learning outcome must be reached, because we know by psychology we have a group of students, whether 20 or 30 or 50, they are of diverse background. The only thing maybe that I would suggest to the one who posed the question would be to try, if possible, break the class into 2. 2 is easy. The okay student, I'm not going to use the word like, tak pandai ke pandai. So the okay student and the less okay student. So when the less okay student, maybe you have to create some other activities. I know it's not easy to be very detailed now, but I'm just trying to answer in general that it is possible to have as many students to achieve and show evidence they have learned LO1 or they have gotten learning outcome 1. But the question was, do we need to be 100%? For sure, I don't think we can do 100%. There will always be 1 or 2 students that won't get it to whatever reason again. Maybe the problem in terms of delay in learning and everything. So these are the things that I can answer. Next one. What is Voicethread? Okay, good question. Even Dr. Sarah asked me. Okay, see, I'm excited to share with you. Okay, I will talk about Voicethread at the end, because Voicethread is an app whereby usually you use synchronized, in other words, recorded. So actually now, since I'm not recording, I cannot use Voicethread with its full potential. At the end, I will show you my link. Then later on, even though you get upset, doktor saya nak tanya soalan tapi dah lebih 3 soalan. Then you can ask, offline. You can ask offline. And inshallah, if I have the time tonight or tomorrow, I will answer to you personally using Voicethread. So can we KIV Voicethread? Can I proceed now, Dr. Sarah?
Yeah, you want to take one more, Dr. Joe?
Okay.
What is the best word to replace the word understanding?
Okay. Let's say, I'm teaching addition 2 digits. Baliklah contoh. Addition 2 digits. At the end of the course, let's say the week or the month is addition 2 digits. Student will be able to calculate the sum of the addition of 2-digit numbers or 2 digits. Cukup macam tu. So when you have a very specific action verb, which is calculate, student will be able to calculate 2 additions of 2 digits. Or even student will be able to add, because add in the English word, tambah, is an action verb. Kata buat kan? Kata buat, dia buat. So to addition boleh, to add or to calculate, rather than just to say to understand. Macam ni lah, to understand tu okay, dia boleh dalam objektif, dia boleh dalam goal, tapi dia mungkin tak sesuai dalam outcomes. Okay, so can I proceed?
Yes, please.
Okay. So next, this is your where's my where's my I'm trying to find my okay there. Okay, this is your activity. It's a tough one. I give you 5 minutes and then share this to the moderator, and then the moderator will put it in the first column of Padlet. So the live activity would be this. You can do it in groups. Actually, that's the thing, Dr. Sarah. I don't know whether we now have 100 plus whatever, but we can put them into groups of 10. Okay. Then the group can come up to discuss in their own group, and then once they have come up, we take the first 3 responses. And that's how actually I plan.
Okay. Okay. So if you can open the link padlet.com/drjo/UPM. Okay, and have a look at live activity 1.
Okay. So if individuals is okay, the individual want to put, they click the plus, They click the plus. Yeah, and then a window will come, and then they put their name or whatever. Then they can see. I only need these 3. Let's say you are a teacher or a lecturer in any institution. Doesn't matter, not just in UPM. You think of one learning outcome. Your own learning outcome lah, not just any learning outcome. Learning outcome from your class, and then you share with me one teaching strategy, one learning strategy, and finally one assessment task. Okay, you want me to give an example?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say I teach statistics. Okay, at the end of the course, the student will be able to calculate standard deviation. To calculate is an acceptable good action verb. Then in my classroom, I'll be using Excel and showing them step by step to calculate standard deviation using a data set. So all the steps, let's say untuk buat cerita pendek kan, the steps are very clear. My instructions are clear, are well received by my students. And finally, for my task, I ask them to calculate. Let's say this is real example, not from book. You look at your family, and look at their height or even their weight. Berat badan satu family. Let's say a large family consists of 15 people lah. Mak, bapa, nenek, adik, beradik, abang, ipar. Then they bring in the weights, and then they can calculate standard deviation. So in that task in itself, we manage to make sure that students understand the idea of standard deviation from the learning outcome to achieve being competent to calculate, to come up with a statistic, which is standard deviation. And after teaching it well, then at the end, there is a task where they need to get data from their own family members, not from any textbook. Kalau dapat textbook ni terlampau biasa pada saya. So let them learn, let them say, oh macam ni orang-orang pakar statistik buat kerja. So now they know, if in their family, they can come up with all the various weights. Let's say the standard deviation, and even before standard deviation, for sure lah, mesti ada mean kan? Because to calculate standard deviation, mesti ada mean. Let's say the family is quite overweight. From there, they can know that there is, you can notice that the mean is high and the standard deviation, the spread is quite high too. So in other words, these are the things that a teacher can ponder or start thinking, how can I do my test that is much better than what I am doing now? Is there room for me to improve? Yes. Or even let's say now we are able to go outside to bookstore, right? See, this is a good example from me. I usually ask them, the course outline, the learning outcome is mistakes. Identify is a verb. Identify mistakes in the question format. So I go straight away, I teach them all the do's and don'ts and the guideline and whatnot, how to create exam questions. Then I give them a task. This is a real task, Dr. Sarah. They go to any Kuni-Kuniya ke Popular, they go and flip books, then they take pictures of bad format question. Bad format. There are many questions in the textbook right now that do not follow the recommended assessment guideline of good item writing. And from there, after the end of the course, I get feedback from students. They say, Doktor, tugasan yang pergi kedai tu memang paling saya suka dan saya betul-betul boleh nampak apa yang kita belajar dalam kelas dan apa yang reality. See, when students are given appropriate and interesting tasks in terms of assessment, they really learn. They really learn. Not necessarily just read or even watch. They must do. Okay, where's the, dah cukup dah. Padlet tadi mana ya?
Dekat Padlet tadi kita ada 2 je baru.
Okay, tak apa. It's okay. I'm not wajibkan semua kan. Okay, let me go. 2 tu pun dah cukup. Okay. Okay, this course aim to make student. Okay, I have a problem with strategic management. I minta maaf if I see. I will not hide around the bush lah. I said to the point. Jangan kecil hati lagipun kita tak tahu kan siapa yang tulis. To make, macam mana kita nak buat to make? To make tu macam mana? Untuk buat pelajar tahu macam mana? So problem tu kat situ. Kalau saya, the course, I don't know whether this is objective or learning outcome. Kalau objektif tu dia boleh lah agak umum, tapi bila outcome tu dia mesti action verb. And if you click Google and you type Google action verb, memang banyak. Action verb ni banyak lah, macam banyak dalam dictionary lah kan, action verb. So the course aim to make tu tak kena lah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm taking this one. At the end of the course, students should be able to produce us. Yes, I like this one. Yes, I like this one. Siapa yang dengar tadi At the end of the course, the students should be able to produce a soil erosion map. Produce a map. Okay. Okay, siapa yang buat LO ni, saya suka, bagus. Tapi kan, macam mana dia punya assessment? Learning outcome dah bagus, you mengajar macam-macam lah, tak kisahlah you mengajar pasal macam-macam strategi, teknik pun tak apa, bagus lah, you all, see you are the pakar, you are the expert in your field. So, I have full trust that you are able to do the best in the class, whether in the real class or in an online class. But the key now, macam mana cara you nak nilai ataupun nak evaluate? Maybe, see you let the student go out to any park. From there they can, I don't know lah, this is not my area kan. But the point is the student really do something outside, take pictures, and then from the real park or whatever, tanah ke, kat mana-mana, tepi pokok ke apa, then translate whatever they got there into an soil erosion map. Or even another one, infograph. Translate all that together with pictures and also videos into an infograph. So when a group of students are given such tasks, see, kalau saya student pun saya excited. Why? It's not just reading books, sitting in the library or even at home in the bedroom and just do whatever the assignment. Tak challenging lah. Sorry to say, tak challenging. Surely kita pensyarah semua hebat-hebat ni. Pensyarah yang saya bercakap semua hebat-hebat, cikgu semua bagus-bagus. So bermakna boleh buat sesuatu yang mencabar. Itu saja. The key now is kena cabar. Kenapa? Kerana ramai komplainkan boring online, penat online. So 1 hour boleh can do teaching. The next 1 hour let them go on do their work together, supported by asynchronized recorded lessons. Okay, what else? Let me go down. Student will be able to name. Boleh? Name. Name is an action verb. But remember, action verb ni there is a range tau. Kalau nak ikut Bloom's lah, you can go for just knowledge. Knowledge, you can go for knowledge. Namakan, knowledge. You can go for create and evaluate. Later I will touch on that.
Dr. Jo, ada yang suggest kata action words can be referred at Bloom taxonomy as a guide.
Yes, can definitely. I don't have the time to go to check action verb lah kan. Boleh juga. The strategic management you kata to produce pun boleh lah, to produce. To produce tu later on you have to show what projects that they do, maybe e-portfolio. Through e-portfolio you can say based on all the artifacts in the portfolio that they have shown, their work, their files, their notes, their videos and audios, all those things, then we can say overall they have come up and produced a working e-portfolio to demonstrate that they have reached or achieved the learning outcome per se. And I think that we can defend. So let us move forward. Okay, Dr. Sarah?
Boleh.
Okay, now go to the next one. We are done with topic 1. Oh, I'm rushing for time. Okay.
Tak apa, boleh Dr. Jo.
Okay, wait. This is a video on constructive alignment. This is what Voicethread can do.
The design of the course consists of 3 main building blocks: the intended learning outcomes, the teaching and learning activities, and the assessment and feedback tasks. In a well-designed course, those building blocks should all be aligned with each other. They support each other and are geared towards each other. Biggs and Tang call this way of setting up a course constructive alignment. In a constructively aligned course, the building block, intended learning outcomes, is the central component. All the building blocks support each other, so the learner is enveloped within a supportive learning system. The intended learning outcomes are defined by Biggs and Tang as statements written from the student's perspective, indicating the level of understanding and performance they are expected to achieve as a result of engaging in the teaching and learning experience. The intended learning outcomes give the course a sense of direction. They help with managing expectations of students, and they help the teacher to determine which content should and should not be included. The intended learning outcomes should be formulated in such a way that they indicate which activities are more likely to help achieve these. Using action verbs is one way of achieving this. After defining the intended learning outcomes, engaging teaching and learning activities have to be selected. The action verbs formulated in the learning outcomes should be taken as a starting point in selecting the appropriate teaching and learning activities. Which activity will be the most likely to encourage the students to engage with these action verbs? After identifying the teaching and learning activities, appropriate assessment and feedback tasks have to be created. Assessment that corresponds to the formulated learning outcomes. Since constructive alignment is a dynamic process, it is also possible to start with creating assessment and feedback tasks before thinking about the teaching and learning activities. The 3 components of constructive alignment, the intended learning outcomes, the teaching and learning activities, and the assessment and feedback tasks are interrelated. Therefore, when revising one of them, revision of all of them is necessary.
Okay, that's a very short recap lah. Kira recap on constructive alignment. So I need to move forward. The next topic would be reliability and validity. And I like this quote. The sweetness of success erases the bitterness of patience. You know why when I came across this, I know it is appropriate for my second topic. My second topic is reliability and validity. And I don't think I need to go really detailed because this is my assumption. I know my assumption might not be correct. Most of us have heard these 2 words. But when I look at the quote from our Imam Sayyidina Ali Abi Talib, I repeat, the sweetness of success erases the bitterness of patience. I jadi emotional. You know why? Being patient is a reflection of being reliable. We must be patient all the time. Kan? Quran mentioned a lot. Allah mentioned a lot. We have to be patient. Patient berterusan. So Reliability means consistency. Consistency in patient. That's what we need now, right? During the pandemic. And when we want to achieve success, or when we want to fight for success, when we want to go to the path of success, make sure the success is valid. Make sure it's the right success. Do not go towards success using the wrong road, using all the bad methods. Don't go towards success the wrong way. So when I look at this quote, it is so apt to introduce reliability and validity. I repeat, let us be patient reliably, and let us achieve success accurately. Jadi emotional sikit, Dr. Sarah.
It's okay, Doctor. It is a very good quote.
Okay, reliability.
Dr. Joe, sorry. Yang line warna biru dekat slide.
I don't know who put the line. I don't know how somebody just.
I think somebody went on Voicethread and then can edit, I suppose.
Maybe, but I don't know how to.
Can anyone who did that erase, please? Thank you.
Can I get out? Maybe can I get out from sharing? Maybe lah. Try. I get out from sharing first.
Yeah, it's a bit jarring.
I do not know who did that. Wait. Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay, I share again, inshallah. Yeah. Okay. So reliability in a nutshell, because I do not want to spend too much on this second topic, because I want to spend much more in test table of test specification. That one more useful. But here, this is also important. Okay. There are 4 types of reliability. The keyword for reliability is being consistent. Number 1 is test retest. Okay, I'm not going to read that again. Test retest. You have one test, right? You go to a class, you teach 1 month. You teach 1 month a topic. Then you do a test. Doesn't matter lah, a quiz or a mini test. Then you want to make sure your test is good, right? Then the next, after 2 weeks, at least not the next day lah. The next day is too short a period to do test retest. So after next 2 weeks, you repeat the same test. The same test. Okay, why 2 weeks? Because hopefully by 2 weeks the student won't remember or won't recall the question. Because students, they have life, their life are not just our exam, their life is other things. So when they are given the same test, the scores should be consistent. If a test is able to elicit scores that are consistent, given to the same set of students with the same set of questions, if the scores are stable in terms of you can do a correlation. Okay, I'm not going to go detail into correlation, right? So in other words, if in test in administration 1, Ali, Ahmad, and Abu got about 70. In the next second administration, Ali, Ahmad, and Abu should be around 70 juga. Not exactly lah, it could be 72, 73, 69. So if we can do that, or we can show that statistically, then our test, not the student, okay, not the student. Usually people confuse. It's not about the student, it's about the scores. So the test has demonstrated test retest reliability. This is more often used in research lah, kan? When we have a survey pun also boleh, survey, instrument, scale, whatever, and also achievement test in the classroom. Sometimes the district, like Ministry of Education, the district want to create a test that is used all schools in the district. So the test needs to show evidence of test retest reliability. So ini lebih, I'm not too sure whether our teachers in the school really want to do this or even our lecturers, but it can be done. The next one, I will go straight to parallel form. Parallel form is a little bit different. It's not exactly like test retest. Let's say we have one test, paper and pencil. Then we have another test after the second week, the same questions, but using computers. So if a set of tests, let's say 20 questions, one format is paper, pencil, another format is online. Then we have consistent scores also, meaning similar scores, not exact, similar scores. Then we can prove or show to people or to whoever wants to check that this paper and pencil has parallel form, or even the other way. If paper and pencil is the reference, then the computer online test has parallel form reliability. Finally, the internal consistency. The internal consistency is about measuring a construct or measuring one topic. And from using mathematics or statistics, you can come up with a Cronbach alpha. So this is a little bit more detailed or more technical. Using Cronbach alpha, either SPSS or Excel or SAS, you can come up with the Cronbach alpha value. It's a complicated mathematical formula, and from that formula, ranging from 0 to 1, if it come close to 1, let's say Cronbach alpha is 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, then the whole item, let's say 10 item, 20 item, representing one test, is actually measuring that one topic. But remember that there is a caveat. For internal consistency, you cannot have too many subtopics. If you say you want to do a test on calculus, it must only be calculus, and then you run a Cronbach alpha, and it shows that the 20 questions on calculus is indeed having a high internal consistency of, let's say, 0.8 or 0.9. So we can prove that the test dealing with the topic calculus, only calculus now. You cannot have calculus, algebra, trigonometry. So if the 3 different subtopic into one test, you cannot run internal consistency. You cannot. You need to separate it. So if let's say, doctor, but still my school have these 3 major tests, then you have to do 3 separate internal consistency tests. So for algebra kena buat satu, for calculus kena buat satu, for trigonometry kena buat satu. So that's little bit lah in a nutshell. Okay. So the next one would be validity. Validity is
Dr.
another.
Jo,
Yes.
sorry, boleh besarkan lagi tak your slide, Dr.? Sebab dia very small.
Wait. Boom.
Yeah, I think that's better. All right.
That's
Thank
Voicethread.
you. Oh,
That's
okay.
Voicethread. Okay. Validity, you know why I'm laughing? Usually in my class, student can understand reliability, but students have tougher time understanding validity. But anyway, there are about 3 main types of validity. Okay, if consistency refers to reliability, accuracy refers to validity. Or in other words, if you look at all literature, kan, mana-mana literature book on statistics, testing, kan, they talk about reliability, validity, they will say validity is a test that is able to measure what it is supposed to measure. Jadi macam kadang-kadang pelajar, I repeat, when a test manages to measure or to assess or to show what it is supposed to show, then that test can be construed as having validity. Again, this is an issue. Ramai, because so many books talk about validity of the test, validity of the test. Remember that? Kalau you tengok mana-mana buku pun, validity of the test, validity. It's wrong. It's a misnomer. Actually, ini pakar bidang ni je faham kan? When any books or research or you know you hear people talk validity of the test, actually they meant it's implicit lah, implicit. It's the scores. Validity only attaches to the scores, not to the test. Remember? I give you an example. I don't have my watch. Let's say I have a watch. The watch will show numbers, right? The watch will show numbers. Okay, I'm calling for the watch. Okay, the watch, fly to me. Yeah, fly already. Dr. Sarah, watch dah fly. Sekejap je.
Macam mana boleh macam tu?
They fly to me. I just magic. Okay, so now the watch has numbers. The numbers shows the measurement of time. So the construct now is time. Time is measured. I mean, the watch measure time. So time is a construct. See, now I ask you, where does validity sits? Does the validity sits on the watch or the validity sits on the time? So if you ponder, I tak nak you all jawab lama-lama. Actually, validity is about the time, not the watch. So similarly, if a test, somebody will say the test is valid. Then kalau betul you nak argue lah kan. You can kata, betul ke you cakap test tu valid? Sebenarnya test is never valid. Test scores are valid. So you see my point? The time shown is either valid or not valid. When is the time shown in a watch not valid? When it is broken, when the battery is kaput, then the time shown is not valid. So validity is never on the watch. The validity is on the time that the watch shows. Okay, dalam tu dalam tu. So that's what validity is. So we have three. One is content validity. To make it easy and fast, content validity. When we create a test, let's say 10 question or 20 question or a survey, biasa survey. PhD student, master student usually do survey. They like to do survey if they are using quantitative. Even qualitative also have survey. So then you have to send to experts. Let's say if it's a medical, they send to medical expert. If they are lawyers, they send to a lawyer who are experts in the field. Then this expert will check the questions and give thumb of approval. Once a few experts have checked and agreed that your questions are good and proper, then at that juncture, you can claim your test or survey has content validity. So kadang-kadang ramai orang tak faham. Sometimes even I ask some students again, macam mana, how do you explain content validity? Dia tak tahu. So if you cannot explain, that means you did not learn or you do not know. The next one is criterion. Criterion, actually there's two, concurrent and predictive. What does it mean? Concurrent mean, let's say I build a survey, survey ke test sama lah, survey test. If I build a new survey, how do I know my question in my survey has concurrent validity? I will have to refer the scores from giving this survey to a group of people. I have to refer, bandingkan, compare with an established similar test. Contoh. UPM want to build a new English test, English selection test. Let's say you say UPM English selection test. Okay, let's say that. So how do you go about getting concurrent validity? You must get a group, a sample of students to answer or to use the test, and then the same group of students, they have to use TOEFL. So let's say you use TOEFL as the reference. The scores of this group is about the same. In other words, this sample of students, they answer your new baby or your new test, the scores are consistent with their scores on TOEFL. At that juncture, your new test, TOEFL tu tak payah kita, we don't have to question lah, TOEFL tu memang dah established kan for many years, all over the world guna. So if our new test, the scores are consistent with the scores of the TOEFL within that same sample of 100, 200, 300 students, we can claim that our new test has concurrent validity. And the next one is predictive, a little bit tougher to explain. Predictive validity is like this. Usually I give you an example. If a pilot, they enter the flying academy, let's say 100 enter. But for that year, only 30 saja yang akan dapat jadi pilot. How do you train pilots? You remember or not? If you train pilots, this one, those of you who understand, they have simulators tau. Pilot kan they have to go through simulator. Bukan simulator macam dalam kereta tu. They are really like a cockpit, a real cockpit costing millions of dollars. Only those competent that have learned, that have been trained well, they will fly the simulator and they won't crash. The simulator will not crash if the pilot trainee have done the training well, they pass. So in other words, let's say 100 students go through the simulator, 30 saja pass, 70 fail. When I say 70 fail, they fly the simulator, crash. Fly simulator, crash. 5-10 kali crash, the instructor kata, enough Joe, you tak boleh jadi pilot, you jadi pensyarah lagi bagus. So that's the point. So what I'm trying to say here, In that tool, in other words, that simulator represent as a testing instrument. I quote lah, testing instrument is a big machine. That machine shows predictive validity. In other words, that machine help us to see who would be successful as pilots. So if you bring the same argument back to the classroom, if we have this one maybe tak berapa relevant untuk the normal classroom, but predictive validity is usually for research, for building up surveys. So let's say survey untuk menentukan siapa yang jadi leader dalam universiti. So let's say lah vice chancellor ke siapa ke kan, they can already step down or retire. We need a new dean. Then maybe we can use an instrument to measure among other things, pengalaman, IQ. Then this leadership punya survey, we can use it to the potential candidates. Then if the candidate answer according to what true leadership is, then the person we can confidently say the person has all the traits of leadership. So let's say 10 orang mohon untuk jadi dekan, mungkin 2 orang saja yang lulus ujian saringan dekan, then 2 orang ni boleh di-interview lah. So that's if a survey has that, then that survey does have predictive validity. So predictive validity to me is not quite relevant in the day-to-day, everyday teaching. But again, overall validity is important. Overall validity. And finally, construct validity ni a little bit more detail. I think I pause. You can have a look at Convergent and Divergent. It's the same thing. If you create a new survey, you need to compare the result of this survey on a standardized sample. If let's say personality, let's say happy scale, saya buat happy scale, happy survey happy lah, survey happy, tajuk dia happy. If I am confident or my team is confident that all the items are measuring happy, then to get to construct validity, I can compare the result of this happy, which is my scale, with an established happy scale outside. Meaning in the world memang ada banyak happiness scale. The score must be consistent or correlate. And then I have to go for divergent. The only way to go for divergent is to find survey yang terbalik daripada happy. So contoh, kalau ada banyak happiness scale, surely ada banyak. There will always be more sadness scale, anger scale. Memang ada kan. Sadness scale, anger scale kan. Not happy scale. Cari yang opposite happy. Then you compare the result of the same sample on a later date. The score must be very different like that. In other words, negative correlation lah. Why? Why negative correlation? Obvious kan? Kalau orang tu jujur, if someone is honest, he says that he's happy with his life. For sure, when he answer anger ke or depressed scale, he would say no to the depressed kan? Kerana dia happy. So this is what divergent validity is and convergent. Convergent is positive correlate. Divergent is negative correlate. If your new survey has all this, you can claim that your new survey or your new test has construct. But remember, construct is very hard to define tau. Let's say happiness kan. Happiness is divided into how many subsection? That one, that one later lah. Bincang kan. Even personality, how many traits of personality. So these are the issues in terms of research lah, especially. So I'm going next. Okay. A quick question, Dr. Sarah. Just supaya diorang tak mengantuk.
Boleh.
I hope diorang tak mengantuk. Siapa mengantuk rugi. A test can be reliable but not valid. That's true. A test can be reliable but not valid. Can a test be valid but unreliable? I give you 1 minute. Kalau ada music band ni, selingan.
Nak jawab dekat mana tu, Doktor?
Diorang jawab kat you.
Oh, Kak Ai. Boleh jawab dalam chat lah, boleh? Kat YouTube pun boleh jawab dalam YouTube punya.
You take one
chat.
or two. You take 1 or 2 answers, then I comment.
So far, yes.
Those 2 questions, those 2 answers are wrong.
So it's a no.
So alhamdulillah, those 2. Thank you very much. Those 2. At least you learn something kan. Remember when I first say The main point of any lesson or any learning activity is after you have gone through the lesson or learning activity, you learn something new. A test can be reliable but not valid. Yes. A test that is valid must be reliable.
Reliable come first.
Okay, I give you an example. Watch. Mana tadi I watch? Mana tadi watch? Okay, watch. Kalau watch ni baru, if the watch is new, brand new, new battery, everything, no fault, no flaws. Every day it will show the same correct time, right? So if every day it shows the same correct time, it is always reliable throughout the time. And since it's always reliable and it is new, it is showing the correct time. But this thing can be reliable but not valid. Okay, in what situation a watch like this can be reliable but not valid? I'll give you the answer, then you understand. Let's say I have a friend. He's a mischievous friend. One day before I wake up, he took my watch. He sabotage. He buat 2 minit awal. He purposely, right, recalibrated and put 2 minutes early. I not knowing it, I use the watch every day. Do you realize the watch every day will show what? Will show time that is 2 minutes early. Betul tak? So a watch can be reliable, but it is reliable consistently showing 2 minutes early. In other words, being 2 minutes early is not valid. The time 2 minutes early, tak tepat kan? So something can be reliable, but not valid. The other way around. If something is valid, if an instrument is valid, it should be logically and scientifically, it should be reliable. Okay, I give you Rasulullah. For those of you Muslims, we revere, we look upon him as our prophet. He speaks the truth, right, Dr. Sarah? He speaks the truth.
Yes.
Speak the truth is accurate, betul?
So,
He speaks the truth all the time. In the embodiment of Rasul is both reliability and validity. How do I make that example? My prophet speaks the truth all the time. Speak the truth, validity all the time, reliability. Cantik. Cantik. Then the way you explain, inshallah, God willing, my student will remember for the rest of their life the crux of what reliability and validity is. And therefore, when they become teachers, they are able to create and think of appropriate teaching methods and thus teaching assessment tasks. And that is why learning should be fun, has to be fun. Okay, that's the graphical view lah. See, this one Olympic, unfortunately, our archer didn't really make it. They nearly make it to the last, I think last 18 or last 8 or something. But see, reliable but not valid. Ini kira mata juling, something wrong, cross eye. I mean, he's good, but something wrong, he always go this end. So reliable, not valid. This one is the worst scenario. Worst scenario, berterabur, semua salah, semua tak reliable, semua tak valid. This one, not reliable, not valid. This is the best lah. Both reliable and valid. I mean, this if you go and open books on assessment, most of the time this picture will be there. Okay, I think I'm gonna skip the
video.
Do you think I should skip or just want to see? Okay lah.
So conductor boleh?
Replicability. A test is reliable to measure
Dia boleh
student
besarkan
achievement
sikit.
consistently, whether the student takes the test in the morning or afternoon of the same day or a day or two later. Another measure of reliability is internal consistency, whereas students' performance on comparable items on a test should be similar. Finally, alternate form reliability ensures that two forms of the same test are very highly correlated. Values for reliability coefficients range from 0 to 1. A reliability of 0 means no reliability, and 1 means perfect reliability. Due to measurement error, perfect reliability never happens. Generally, if the reliability of a standardized test is greater than 0.8, then the test is said to have very good reliability. If it's below 0.5 reliability, it would not be considered a reliable test. Validity refers to the accuracy of an assessment, whether it's aligned to theoretical constructs, content, and scores on other measures or future measures. A test can be reliable, meaning you get the same scores if you retake it, but not valid, meaning that the test doesn't measure what it's supposed to measure. Thus, it is important to ensure assessment validity and reliability.
Okay, that's it. We go to the end of the second topic. Okay, question and answer. I'll try to answer the three earliest one. Sorry, because of the constraint of time, brothers and sisters. Anything you want to ask about relative validity? If not, I will proceed.
Okay, so there's a few questions.
Tak apalah, just read. I can.
Okay. Sebab dekat dalam chat ni tak boleh nak copy masuk Padlet.
It's okay. It's okay. Just
okay.
Orally say it.
A faulty or inaccurate watch won't be able to give reliable time, and vice versa. Did I get it correctly? So an inaccurate.
Yes. Very good. If the watch is kaput, it both not reliable, not valid. But if someone play a fool with you, a prank, an April fool, he purposely put 5 minutes late, you will go about your day not knowing that the watch is 5 minutes late. So if you don't watch or you don't notice it, let's say for 1 week, that 1 week, it is reliable, kan? It's reliable. It keep on giving you time. But the time given is not accurate. So reliable boleh, ada case reliable boleh tanpa valid. Tetapi kalau valid dah ada, reliable akan menyusul. Dan juga akhirnya ada juga case dua-dua tak ada. Tak valid langsung, tak reliable. Contoh-contoh serial killer kan. Serial killer, he do the bad thing which is not accurate lah kan. Dalam konteks not accurate. He kill people, but he kill people consistently. Ada kan? That is why in statistics we have type 1, type 2 error. Itu baliklah nanti type 1, type 2 error.
Yeah, somebody said type 2 error.
Yes, so alhamdulillah you know your stuff. So type 2, type 1 error. Even in vaccine, ada orang issue argue kan. I said there's a case of false positive. Dia tak salah. False positive kan. So these are all related. So inshallah, for those of you who are interested in this topic, you know it's all there in science. False positive, false negative. So so let us go forward.
Doctor, one more boleh?
Yes.
Reliability and validity is similar to precision and accuracy. Is it?
Yes. But wait. Precision is more similar to accuracy. Reliability is more to consistency. Okay, balik pada the example of Rasul, right? Rasul talks accurately, meaning he talks the truth. He don't lie. And by being not lying, meaning by being truthful, that is accuracy. That is saying what need to be said truthfully. That is validity. But he does it throughout the time. Even masa dia kecil, sebelum dia dapat wahyu pun, dia truthful. So he is truthful throughout his life. In other words, consistency mesti ada dimension time. Time, masa. Mesti bergerak. Dia tak boleh static. Macam kita punya test. Test kita, TOEFL, digunakan bertahun-tahun. That is reliable. But the questions that is in TOEFL will give scores that are accurate. Sebab itu because of that accurate of the scores derived from TOEFL menyebabkan universities, let's say in the US, use TOEFL as a criteria or a selection for those people entering postgraduate studies in the US or even in other countries. Okay, that's it. Okay. Live activity, Dr. Sarah.
Okay.
Okay, I need all of you to put your thinking cap and answer those questions. Answer those questions, only 3. Simple one.
Okay, we can have a look at live activity 2 on Padlet now. So if I can ask the question, the task is in each of this scenario, determine whether it is displaying validity or displaying reliability, and also its relative strength, high or low. We got a few answers already. Oh, cepat.
They are excited, Alhamdulillah.
Bagus. Yeah, very engaged.
See, Dr. Sarah, this is sambil-sambil diorang menulis tu, I just want to share the tips lah. As you mentioned kan, I've thought, let's say, actually not 28, nearly 30 years lah. Okay, as long as you are able to think, this one I cannot help you lah. Up to you, your pengalaman, your expertise, your competencies, your awareness, your drive, and your creativity. You are able to come up with certain activities. Not necessarily the common one, like read this textbook, read this page, and do this exercise. No. Come up with something engaging. We need that more so during the pandemic. If not, students just watch your face, and I don't know whether they are like, dreaming or something else. They must be engaged. Remember, the faculty of hearing and watching, okay, boleh tahan. I'm not saying it's bad. But by the faculty of doing will surpass what you see or what you hear. If you do, let's say you do kan, buka ni lah apa, katakanlah engineer kan, dia boleh online dia suruh ambil satu alat, buka, lepas tu susun balik. Contoh, apa-apa mesin lah, apa-apa robot lah, robot yang kecil-kecil tu. So, don't tell me you can't. It's just a matter of thinking. And then definitely there's a lot of resources out there. The resources out there, you just guna, ubah suai je lah. Okay, sudah dapat jawapan?
Oh, aktif tu banyak, Doktor.
Okay, wait, let me see. Okay, wait. Let me see. Okay, activity 2. Okay, high reliability, low validity, low reliability. High reliability, low validity, low reliability. Alhamdulillah, 10/10. Dapat A lah, activity 2 ni. Saya pun happy, senyum lebih. See, another technique in psychology. In any class that you first start, first sem, the first quiz or the first task, kasih senangnya. Kasih senang, biar semua orang dapat 100. Kenapa? Kenapa, Dr. Sarah? Why? That's the hook. That's the hook. Macam kita pancing kan. Kita pancing budak, biar first quiz, first test, biar senang. Ini aktiviti 2 senang lah.
Buat semangat, orang kata.
Semua orang dapat betul, semua happy. Nak datang lagi lah, doktornya kelas, nak datang lagi lah, tak boleh miss lah. Okay, next enough of that lah. Okay, wait.
Betul. Okay. I think we use a lot of that as well.
Yes, alhamdulillah. I'm sure you all of us are all experienced there. Okay. Next one. Assessment code 3. I don't know who this Hopper is a Matsalila in the US. One accurate measurement is worth 1,000 expert opinion. Okay, I kaitkan You see or not? Some of the anti-vaxxers. The anti-vaxxers, they don't look at statistics. The latest statistics, not just in Malaysia, but in the whole world, 95% of those hospitalized are not vaccinated. Only less than 5%, maybe 2-3%, or less than 2-3%, maybe 1%. Even Dr. Sri Hisham tunjuk just yesterday. I keep track of all those statistics. Kita orang assessment, orang math. Only less than 2% yang vaccinated. And then these people still don't understand though. Oh, the vaccine kenapa boleh kena? Kan, there is no 100% in this watch. I tell you, I give you, even in my class. Now everyone, I count down 3, 2, 1. Tell me the time. Katakanlah 20 orang 10:20, 10:21, 10:19, 10:15. Mana ada accurate? Jadi orang-orang yang tak faham ni susah. Science, anywhere, there is no perfect accurate. Manusia tak perfect. Rasulullah pun tak perfect. So kena vaksin mesti tak perfect. Mesti ada yang kena juga walaupun dah 2 dos. So these are the things. Accurate measurement is worth 1,000 expert opinion. I boleh tambah. One accurate measurement is worth 1,000 membawang. Kan? Banyak sangat pendapat-pendapat tapi bukan scientific. Okay. Table of test pack. Okay. Table of test pack. We are into our last topic and I have about 30 minutes. I think okay tak? Okay, our time, Dr. Sarah.
Okay, we're good. We've done 2 activities and then one more.
Okay, table of test pack. This is also another topic, quite controversy juga. For those of you in schools, I think you have to do it. For us, maybe see, I have to be careful with what I say. I don't know I don't know about UPM. I cannot talk for UPM because I don't know what's the current practice. But in UAE, we are. I mean, it is recommended. It is good to have, but setakat ni I don't think it is mandated lah. Tapi kalau teachers in school, yes. So, but it is good. It is good. Well, even though it's not mandatory or it's not compulsory, but it is good to have. If you are in a examination punya unit or peperiksaan punya unit and so on, even in university or even in any department for your common test lah. Let's say you have your common test. So it is a two-way chart to help teachers relate their learning outcome, which is what topic they want to put in the test, the cognitive level of instruction, their teaching and learning strategies. That one not necessarily in the table of test pack, but then we'll see later. And the amount of the test that should assess. In other words, how many questions? We start with multiple choice first, but later I'll show you. In more detail, TOS. I just use the word TOS. To say table of test pack is quite long, so I just say TOS. In more detail, TOS is a template for a test. It's actually a template for a test, or in another word, it's a blueprint. Okay, if a building must have a blueprint before the contractor and the and the people that create the building, then it has, even a car has a blueprint. Therefore, any test, any big test, especially like SPM, STPM, they surely have a table of test pack. It's just that we common folk, we don't see it lah. They won't let us see, but they have Kementerian and all these majlis peperiksaan and lembaga peperiksaan. So it's a template for a test that outline the purpose of the test, the description, the topics, what topics to be in it, what number of questions to be on it, the number of items for each of the topic, how many items, is it low order or high order, and so on. The test format, is it MCQ, is it true and false, and so on. So it is in a way one word a test blueprint senang lah, test blueprint. I'm gonna skip this lah. You can watch this later once I share you the Voicethread punya link. This one quite long lah, 3 minutes. So I just do not want to waste the 3 minutes. Okay. This is how you build. So this is a two-way table, simple two-way table. Okay, before that, just as a caveat juga lah. There are many ways to do table of test pack. There are many ways. So don't be surprised if I show you something that you have not seen. Jangan cakap, doktor, my school do not do like that. It's different. Tak apalah, your school buat yang you punya tu bagus lah. As long as all the ingredients are there. As long as semua bahan-bahan rencahnya di situ. Okay. Hanya ada yang simplified, ada yang very detailed. Okay. For us in UAE, we do not want it to be too detailed, too complicated sampai our lecturer pening kepala. So we just make it simple. So here, if you see, I will go through the steps until it's complete. Then later, for those especially teachers, especially tuition teachers, you can create this and share with your colleagues. Because it really helps. And again, a table of test pack is an evidence of validity. Why? You see a test question, right? Usually all of us see test question ready-made. We do not know that these questions, let's say 10 questions, they came from this. They came from this blueprint. In other words, kalau question tu bernyawa, ada 10 question, setiap satu question kita tanya, awak dilahirkan dari mana? Saya dilahirkan daripada table of test pack Dr. Jo. Betul lah. In other words, the question that you see when you are sitting down for the final exam in a hall, it all came, I mean, the process lagi awal lah, but somewhere along the process, they go through this table of test spec. Table of test spec will always be evidence to be given to auditors or MQA. Then they will ask, your exam, like this, your exam. Okay, the exam is good. Can we see your blueprint? When they kata, can we see your blueprint? Kena tunjukkan ni. Inilah dokumen yang menunjukkan bahawa soalan-soalan tu tak ada datang daripada soalan-soalan just terjun satu malam before the exam kan. Kadang-kadang kita cikgu kan, yelah cikgu yang pengalaman, saya faham lah, saya pun cikgu pengalaman kan. Kadang-kadang dulu-dululah. Pengetua kata, test next week. 2 malam, 1 malam barulah nak cari pada buku teks, main ambil je, main ambil. Langsung tidak ada constructive alignment. That's the problem. I know lah, speak is easier kan, but that's the thing lah, this is the proper way. So, you have the topics, you have the hours taught. Sorry this one terbesar sikit. Weightage. LOT ni don't worry is lower order thinking. HOT is higher order thinking. Kan kita tahu dulu kan, HOTS. K-bat. Kemahiran berfikir aras tinggi kan. Okay. And then finally, number of items. Let's say, using my same example, which I've used, which is this topic, I put the 4 topics, the 4 topics that I covered today kan, tak termasuk TOS lah. So assessment, 1 topic, constructive alignment, 1 topic, reliability, 1 topic, validity, 1 topic. So for any cikgu, for any teachers, for any lecturers even, let's say for that 1 month or half the semester, 7 weeks already, 7 weeks you want to give a midterm. That 7 weeks, you have 5 topics, then you put the 5 topics there. Simple, So just step by step. Hopefully you will gain something. Sorry, if those of you who already good in building TOS, it is just a refresher lah. Sabar je lah, tunggu kan sampai habis. Okay. Next step, put the hours taught. Here again, usually from my years of experience of teaching and kadang lecturers or teachers, how do I know? I ask them balik, how do I know how many hours you taught? So in other words, it depends on you lah. This is just sample. Okay, I'm just repeating now. This is just a sample I put. 12 hours, where does this 12 hours come? Sample for me. But if you are a teacher, 1 month, you go back, look at your lesson plan and everything, you know lah. You know for this assessment, for 1 month, out of 1 month, I taught about 20 hours. Then you know lah assessment, tajuk assessment, you taught for how many hours kan? Kalau tak hours pun minutes pun boleh. So you do this. Next, you need to put how many items. Okay, remember this is specifically for multiple choice. MCQ. I repeat, what is MCQ? Multiple choice question. Nowadays, we don't actually say questions like in terms of the jargon used in assessment. We use items. So I will say multiple choice items. So we decided a priori. Let's say we are a team. Let's say I have a partner with me teaching the same course. So we decided standardize. So when 7 week comes, after 1 month or 1.5 months, we decide to do this assessment because we want to make sure that the students have achieved the outcome for all the previous topics. So we decided a multiple choice test, multiple choice. All the questions are multiple choice, 25 items. Enough lah for midterm. Doesn't matter, okay? Don't argue. You can have 10, you can have 30, 50, but don't lah put 1 or 2 kan. Kalau put 1 or 2, baik tak payah buat TOS. Okay. So you have to decide on this first. This is the step. The 4th step is this. Then you do the weightage. Okay, the weightage is where some students get confused lah, especially those who are, maybe usually the teachers will say, Doktor, saya dah tinggalkan matematik dan arithmetic lama. Tak apa, boleh buat, sikit-sikit boleh buat. So the way is simple lah. For assessment weightage, the hours taught assessment divide by total hours. So you get 0.17. Actually 0.166666 lah. In math, you round it off. Kalau bahasa Melayu, bundalkan. So kalau 0.16666669, you put 0.17. And then here, Constructive alignment, let's say lah, I ajar untuk sebulan tu 4 jam. Then I divide 4 divided by 12, I get 0.333333. Again, in statistics, we prefer two decimal point. 2 decimal point. Do not put sampai 4, 5, 6. Nanti dia tanya, tapi Excel saya punya phone sampai 4 decimal point. Jangan. Nanti lagi complicated. Validity 3. Reliability 3 divided by 12. Here I repeat je lah. 3 divided by 12, 0.25. And important, once you total it up, that total, it must be 1. If it does not reach 1, maybe there's some mistakes up here. Or maybe you punya bundal salah ke whatever lah. But again, kalau 0.999 pun boleh lah. 0.999, you round it off to 1. Tapi kalau you get 0.7, you get 0.8, something is wrong. You get 1.7, you get 1.2, something is wrong. You must go for 1. So this is the system, okay? Doesn't matter what other system you have used. This one you can compare lah, which system is better. I'm not forcing you to follow. I'm just sharing with you, okay? Then the next one is, I'm not going to go for LOT dengan HOT. I go straight to the number of items. This is where we calculate for each of this topic, how many questions then kita nak. There. This one little bit complicated lah, for those of you who are new lah. Now, for the last column, you take only the weightage. Don't care about the hours. The hours we have done. In other words, now focus on the weightage. Now, weightage times total item. See, weightage times total item. Now pun ada problem. Ramai pelajar confused. Now I get 4.25. Do not keep 4.25. Reason being, there is no such thing as 4 suku soalan. Mana ada 4 suku soalan? 4 suku soalan. Kadang-kadang kan pelajar assignment ni dia tak pay attention lah. Dia send kat saya submission macam tu. Memang kena dengan saya. Saya tanya, boleh tak tunjukkan saya macam mana rupa 4 suku soalan? Soalan sama ada 1 soalan, ada 2 soalan, ada 3 soalan. Soalan tu whole numbers. Dia kena faham whole numbers. Dia tak boleh setengah. Bayangkan kalau awak nak buat soalan setengah. Soalan MCQ jadi setengah. Jadi AB je keluar, CD tak ada. Jadi funny jugalah kes-kes macam ni. Tapi still lah, if they pay attention, they will not be wrong. They will get it right. Usually yang tak pay attention tu biasalah. Agak-agak yang 100 orang lebih ni pay attention lah. So 4.25, again we use the math, round it off. Because it is less than 0.5, the 0.25 is less than 0.5, you stay with 4. Jangan tanya saya lah, tanya mathematician sudah bersepakat. So 4, do not use 5, 4. For the next one, 0.33, you dapat sama, 8 suku, 8.25. You round it off to 8. Then again, 6.25. Sorry lah, my example ni pelik sikit. You round it up to 6. But here, the last one kan, if you notice, if I add 6 plus 8 plus 4, I get 18 kan? 18 kan? If I stay this with 6, I only get 24 kan? Meaning I short 1 kan? So for this final one, you tak boleh bundal. Even though it says 6.25, you purposely, itu takut pelajar selalu confused. I ada kuasa, ini I punya toss, so I decide to make sure I will maintain and get to 25. I purposely do not bundal for the last one, so it becomes 7. So 4 plus 8 plus 6 plus 7. Voila, 25. Cool. So now, just to have a look, do you realize that for assessment, this is the weightage, 4 items will be derived. In other words, 4 items, we as a team will create. That one later, that one bukan sekarang. Now, do toss saja. Maybe next week, if the unit or the department nak sit down, each of the experts, teachers or lecturers will decide. 4 soalan ni, 4 soalan dari assessment. 8 question from constructive alignment. Betul lah, because constructive alignment is very important, or we spend a lot of time teaching it. Reliability 6 question, validity 7 question, total 25. So that's the way we go. So hopefully now clear a little bit for most of you who are new to TOS. And finally, I'm trying to control this one. Okay. Now we say, Lord, this one pun ramai orang confused. Doktor, ada formula ke nak buat LOT HOT? Tak lah, itu decide. You all decide lah. So now I just put 2, 2, 5, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3. It depends. If you all say for validity, we are not going to ask the low order. We only ask high order. Then put all 7 here lah. So now we have the total here. Okay, Dr. Sarah, you have something to ask?
Yeah, there's a question. I refer to PPT 29 tadi. How do we determine the number of hours for constructive alignment, reliability and validity as 433 That is it up to us, or is it based on our
which slide outline? Was that?
29.
Course outline. Course outline lah kan? Because what was taught actually? What was taught? The teacher in the class or online, they know how many hours they teach can for certain courses or for certain topics. So they decide, not me. This one is just an example.
Yeah. So for each of our course lah.
Yes. So now once we have this LOT, HOT, other people might have all 6. Bloom kan? Bloom, they have 6 knowledge, understanding. Ada kolom dia 6. You bayangkan kalau 6, pening kepala juga lecturer kita. So we make it simplified. Why? Because we know we do not want to overburden our lecturers. So the lecturers can only decide. They are the expert, expert in medicine, expert in science, expert in law. They know out of the 4 questions, based on what they have discussed among their colleagues, they only need 2 and 2. That one lah. In other words, this one boleh ubah lah. Bukan kata mesti 2 and 2. Even there can be 0. 0 on only 1 column. Okay, this was funny tau. Somebody can put 0, 0. Nampak tak? Let's say lah, constructive alignment 0, 0. Memang saya nak melenting sikit lah. Saya cakap, if you put 0, 0, there is no question at all that is asking constructive alignment. Then in the first place, why you put that topic? Nampak tak? Nampak tak? You only put the topic that you have taught. Topic that you do not teach, don't lah put. And since you do not put that topic, the student must know tau. So we must tell the student, these are the topics and these are the items. Surely we are not telling them the question per se. We just guiding them and helping them so that they are better prepared to revise and learn and prepare for the test. So we tell them, next week, we have a 25 item or 25 question midterm test or a quiz. The quiz will comprise of all these topics, 25 item. Cukup lah. You don't have to say high order, low order. You don't have to say that. Okay, so the next one. So this is the ready-made lah. Wait. Mana hilang? Saya punya ni dah hilang sekejap. Aduh. Wait. Okay, put it down here. Okay, so this is a complete one. So complete one. Then in other words, this is a complete TOS. My version. I mean UIA version. So it might be different or not the same with others. If you look in the literature, some are more complex, some are much more simpler. Some do not use weightage, but weightage is important. Okay, the argument in school is always like this. How do we know that how do we know that a topic is important? Senang saja saya jawab. You know a topic is important if you spend a lot of time on that topic as compared to others. Contoh. Introduction. Don't tell me you spend 6 hours on introduction. Introduction maybe less than 1 hour, the first day of class. But during the weeks, ada satu topik, teori lah apa, kontroversi ke yang current issue, you teach more. Because you teach more, students learn more. And it is appropriate to give more questions. See, student always complain. Topik 1 hour, soalan 10. Topik yang 5 hours, soalan 2. Fair tak? Fair ke tidak? That's the issue in assessment. That is why we want our lecturers to faham assessment. Asas, we are not asking all of you to become experts in assessment. Expert in assessment ada a few. Tak apa. We will teach, we will share. But if you confuse on assessment, dah lah tak ada constructive alignment, hancur. Dia shock sendiri. Dia kata, saya pakar ni. Contoh learning outcome dan syllabus kata ajar A, B, C, D. Kata ajar A, B, C, D cukup. Oh, dia shock nak ajar F, G, W, Y, Z. Lepas tu nanti dia tanya soalan W, Y, Z. Tak ada dalam A, B, C, D. And then maybe dia kata, saya suka saya nak ajar. But there's no constructive alignment because you don't follow the syllabus. Nampak tak? So these are the things. I don't mind. See, I have to respect and understand it's your forte, it's your specialty, it's your experience, it's your subject. But please understand the basis of assessment. So if you understand now from this presentation why constructive alignment is important, then maybe you can make some adjustment, you can make some revision in your teaching, in your questioning. Alhamdulillah, that's why I know that's my task today. Okay, so let us go forward. Okay, somebody will ask definitely, Dr. Sarah. Doktor, just show multiple choice. Kita kat universiti tak pakai multiple choice dah, doktor. Okay.
Ada soalan dah ada dah.
Okay, I'll show you how to do essay. Essay, the only difference is, you see it's the same kan? Weightage pun same kan? Tapi now, for each question, contoh. Dia ada banyak variasi. Essay question 1 is a question essay on assessment. Sebab tu saya tulis 1, 2, 3, 4. So total test ni, this test open-ended Essay dah open-ended. Dia tak ada ABCD. Total 4 essay. Then we can say 60 marks. Or 100 marks. Depending lah. Usually in UIA, final exam, let's say lah, this 4 question essay final exam is 60 marks. Or 60% lah. The rest are 40%. So, example lah. So here is the question. Okay. So the question will only be on assessment, whatever sub topic of assessment. The second essay, constructive alignment, whatever sub topic of constructive alignment, and so on. Faham lah kan? It's just that you nak detail boleh juga detail kat sini, tapi I just want to give you just the main topic. Then the next one would be weightage sama. If you want to change the hours, tapi usually it will be the same lah kan? Because we already done the multiple choice. Let's say multiple choice tu midterm kan? Let's say lah, multiple choice tadi tu midterm. Now this one final. Tapi I know lah, you will say, final takkan ada 4 topik? Ada contoh. Ya, saya tahu ada 10 topik ke 14 topik. Tapi nanti 14 topik tu you pilih lah 4 ke 5 kan? Macam tu lah. Okay. Those are the marks. The same thing. See? 10 marks, 20 marks, 15 marks, 15 marks. Okay. I'm about to, my time is, Dr. Sarah, I only have 5 minutes. Okay, wait. Then, only you break down. Low order, contoh. List three definition of assessment. I do 4 marks. Then, in your professional, propose changes in assessment that are relevant to Malaysian society. So that one 6 marks. So ada satu part A, part 1, part 2. So essay kan biasa ada parts. Biasalah saya prefer parts lah, not just one. Not say define globalization. Tak nak lah kan, macam tu kan. So that one later actually talking about essay ni satu hari boleh discuss. Okay, and then number 2 this one, number 3 part 1 7. Ini contoh, okay. You can have 3 parts, you can have 4 parts, whatever. But pecahan ni mesti jumlah 10, mesti jumlah 20. Kalau you nak ada 3 parts pun boleh. Ni I letak 3 parts lah. Contoh lah, because constructive alignment. Maybe you can just go for knowledge. Okay, define constructive alignment. What are the components and how the components interact with each other? Let's say, lepas tu you kasih satu scenario. Based on this test given by doctor this one to a student, where was the mistake? Could you identify the misalignment and propose, how do you correct it? And then it marks lah kan. And so on. So, okay. This is the live activity. Complete this. Tapi I know I don't have the time now. So complete the activity. I wish I have the time for you guys to complete. This is one of the interesting thing. So if you really understand the steps, you know how to complete this. All the unfilled blank kan kena letak appropriately lah. For sure lah kalau ni 10, ni 3, you kena pecahkan 7 kat sini. 7 hours tu could be 2, 3 like that lah. And then from there you main lah apa dia punya matematik tu kan supaya you dapat yes. So eventually you will get the total here. Tak apa, it's okay. This one I just show. And then finally another code, and I like this code. Okay. Our goal should serve as markers, measurement of the progress we make. So I hope through this presentation, you also will see there is progress that you made in understanding issues and topics on measurement, because measurement, assessment, evaluation semua under one roof, which is assessment. Okay, this is Simon Sinek. I'm sure most of you have heard Simon Sinek. Very leadership, dia memang influencer. Very nice guy lah juga. Some of his views are very relevant to us. Okay, and then I just want to share with you lah. I know I won't be enough time for me to cover the last activity, but I give you an example lah. Look at these two samples. Tell me, which is lot, which is hot. Which is lot? Dr. Sarah boleh jawab. Which is hot, which is lot? For sure, obvious.
Yelah yang Dutch tu.
See, please. Yes, during this pandemic, when we are doing online, we must challenge students. It's not enough just taking questions from books. It's not enough just getting, maybe the first 1 week tu boleh lah kasih yang senang. As we progress towards the end of the semester, give them challenging so that they'll see, wow, I have to think. Yalah, you have to think lah. If setakat tarik, semua orang boleh jawab lah. Tutup mata boleh jawab. Silap-silap, you undi je, you boleh dapat jawapan. Okay, jawapannya apa? Tanya.
Atas lot, bawah hot.
Okay. Jawablah apa ABCD nombor 1.
Dutch 1641.
Lupa kan? Lupa kan?
Tapi December kot. Entahlah.
Okay, doesn't matter. Number 1, the jawapan is B.
B, January.
Tak apalah, that one is a fact kan. Kalau
tak
ingat, saya pun tak ingat. Okay, number 2, kena ada kepahaman.
Betul.
Kena ada analysis of what happened during those period, especially for teachers yang mengajar history. So kalau teachers yang ada dalam ramai-ramai 100 lebih ni kalau mengajar history, boleh jawab tak soalan nombor 2 tu apa?
Alamak, tak ingat lah doktor. Kenapa?
Tak apa, doesn't matter.
Tapi ni kita tahu dia hot lah. B.
Yes.
Ada
Do you realize or not?
B.
To answer number 2, it needs a much more understanding, critical thinking, analyzing of all the situation that happened. So the answer is D.
D.
The answer. All ABC is true. ABC is true. It's not false. But the best answer is D. Okay. Continue Continue lagi
Alright.
This one not multiple choice. This one open question. If number 1, most of us will know. Look at the Look at the internet, we can know the sequence of events, right? Just list saja, just list. Ni berlaku. But question B?
Propose and justify.
Action verb lagi. So that is why action verb is important. So when you are given, sorry to say lah, kalau question 1 in question A and question B. Question B lah yang akan menjurus kepada memaksa, forces students to think deep. They cannot main hentam saja. Dia tak boleh main ambil je pada fakta-fakta pada internet. They must really understand what was taught. Remember, under constructive alignment, the instruction must be done well. Instruction must be effective. Once instruction is effective, this type of question is most appropriate. Why? Student will love it, especially those good students. You perasan tak kadang-kadang good student dalam kelas ni kita ramai je ada good student kan? Good student kata, tak mencabar soalan. So lama dia dah fed dah nak dengar. Sorry to say. Okay. Since I know my time is up, I'm going to skip this. This is the activity. All of you can do it later and put it in Padlet lah. Not now lah. maybe tonight ke tomorrow, inshallah, if I have the time, I can just browse through. I want you guys to prepare one MCQ low and one MCQ high, and then one short answer low, one short answer high. I know this can be done, but I need more time since I told you I'm on time. And finally, I end with this quote. Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you. And do not worry that your life is turning upside down now for some of us, or for most of us during the pandemic. How do you know that the side you are used to is better than the one to come? So stay strong, be positive. And finally, those who do not want to change, let them sleep. I quote Rumi. With that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. Joe. If we can use the reaction button, let's give a round of applause to our kita punya penceramah hari ini, Dr. Joe. Thank you very much for a very enlightening, very important things to know in order for us to do assessments, building questions. So we are forever indebted to your ilmu that you gave to us today. Thank you very much.
Can I add? That's the VoiceThread. That's the VoiceThread link. Dr.
Yes.
Can you share that VoiceThread link? And that link, you have to open. You have to open an account. Simple, you open an account. Once you open the account, you can follow the same notes, the same 40 note slides. And during the slide, you can pause. You can comment and give feedback either by text, either by audio, either by video. So if let's say you wanna comment, tanya lagi soalan, you put video, I can see your face. That's the cool thing about VoiceThread.
Okay, I just learned. This is the new thing. Okay, we learned about Padlet today, and we learned about VoiceThread today. So these are one of the hundreds, if not thousands, of apps that we can use during to have interactive learning. So we can include our students. Now it's never a one-way class, right, Dr. Joe? Nowadays, yeah. Okay, so. So today, I think, inshallah, we have reached our learning outcome that you intended for us, inshallah. And on behalf of CADe, we thank you very much, Dr. Johari, for this. And I heard from CADe that we might have another series of this, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think I have number 2 somewhere in September, I think.
Okay. So everybody look out for session number 2 with Dr. Joe.
That will be on tech tools. I'll show you about 10 tools to be used.
Oh, that's even cooler. Okay, so tech tools for siapa-siapa yang tak berapa pasti nak guna apa semester depan in October. We start in October, Dr. Joe. Boleh attend the September session. Okay, so on behalf of CADe, thank you very much again. Thank you very much for the participants for coming and spending 2 good hours here. And so let's build our TOS and reconstruct our LO with the correct working verb. Okay, so with that, thank you very much, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and have a good afternoon. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Okay, Dr. Joe. Terima kasih banyak. It's a great sharing.
Thank you, Wan.
Okay. Okay, Dr. Sarah,
you can follow the VoiceThread if you want.
Okay, alright. I'll put it down. Nanti kita letak kat mana?